What's up guys, LiftingNerdBro here. In this video I want to show you 6 of the most efficient and powerful leveling skills or abilities in Path of Exile. If used correctly, these skills will make you able to level up much faster. And while I do call these skills for leveling skills, some of them can easily be used in endgame as well. That only depends on how you build your character. The way I define a good leveling skill is that this kind of skill does not need any specific gear, and it is powerful as soon as you can equip or use them. So let's get into it. The first skill gem we're going to talk about is Ice Nova. Ice Nova is an amazing AoE spell right from the beginning. It does lots of damage and is very efficient in killing larger packs, which is basically what you want to do when power leveling. While Ice Nova is very powerful in the beginning, it is one of those skills that will start to lack damage as you progress. I've always found that adding the support skill gems, added lightning damage or added cold damage makes a big difference and helps to keep up the damage of Ice Nova for a little while longer. Even though this leveling skill by definition doesn't need any specific skill nodes or anything invested into it, this skill is especially useful if you're leveling as an elemental or spell damage type character such as the Witch or Templar, as these skill nodes greatly amplifies the damage and power of Ice Nova while leveling. When Ice Nova is linked with either added lightning or added cold damage, I find Ice Nova to be fairly efficient until level 30 or so, depending on the skill node you have chosen to get there. After these levels, this skill starts to become inefficient in terms of damage unless further points and support skill gems are invested into it. The easiest way to obtain an Ice Nova skill gem is to create a Templar, kill Hillock, and receive it as a quest reward. It takes 3 minutes and you can save yourself from buying it from another player. Save yourself the currency. So the next skill gem we're taking a look at is Spectral Fro. To make Spectral Fro efficient, all you need is a two-handed weapon with decent damage, and as you progress through the game, linking this skill gem with the support skill gems, lesser multiple projectiles, and either added cold, lightning or the added fire damage skill gems greatly improves the power and damage of this skill gem. The damage of Spectral Fro is further amplified by skill nodes such as increased projectile damage and indirectly by increased physical damage when using a physical damage based weapon. For that reason, Spectral Fro can be a very good leveling skill for anyone trying to build a physical and or projectile based character, as you will be picking up these skill nodes anyway when leveling up. If Spectral Fro is linked with faster attacks, added fire damage, lesser multiple projectiles, and you make sure to use a weapon that provides a good amount of damage, this skill gem will remain very efficient until about level 40 to 50 in my experience. If you want to continue using Spectral Fro from that point on, you'll have to invest some points specifically into it. The cheapest and easiest way to obtain a Spectral Fro gem is by creating a Scion, picking up the skill gem you get from the first zombie you kill on the beach, and you can then throw that into the stash and allow your other characters to pick it up. Now let's talk about Ethereal Knives. This skill gem can be highly useful and very strong if used on a character that will be choosing increased physical, spell and projectile damage skill nodes as they level up. Ethereal Knives is great because it provides us with great AoE capabilities, a good amount of damage, and it doesn't really require any gear to achieve this. To further increase the damage of Ethereal Knives while leveling, linking it with added fire damage and faster casting or spell echo makes it really strong. As long as you pick up either physical, spell or projectile damage skill nodes in your skill tree and you use the right support skill gems, Ethereal Knives will remain very useful throughout the early and mid game. If speccing for it, Ethereal Knives is a viable endgame build as well. To use Ethereal Knives you need to be level 4. As a Shadow and Witch you will be able to pick up Ethereal Knives as a quest reward by completing the Breaking Some Eggs quest in Act 1 on normal difficulty, and unless you want to complete this quest and then transfer the skill gem to another class that needs it, buying it for one alchemy orb from another player is an option as well. The next two skills we're taking a look at is Fire Trap and Flame Blast. Fire Trap can be used right from level 1, and for Flame Blast you'll have to wait until level 10. But don't worry, it is all worth the waiting, and in the meanwhile you can simply use Fire Trap to get there. Both Fire Trap and Flame Blast are great for anyone who will be leveling and picking up increased elemental damage, spell damage and fire damage skill nodes. Now, there are tons of ways to improve the damage output of Flame Blast and Fire Trap, and I'm not even going to mention half of them. But if you simply want to level with these abilities, linking them with Fire Penetration and Concentrated Effect is more than sufficient. Using a skill gem such as Increased Area of Effect is nice as well. Both Flame Blast and Fire Trap are very efficient throughout early and mid-game leveling. Fire Trap and Flame Blast are also very viable during endgame, but that would require you to specifically make a build around these skills. The easiest way to obtain a Fire Trap skill gem is to create a shadow and kill Hillock, then go into town and choose it as your reward from Targley. To get a Flame Blast skill gem, the easiest way is probably to buy it for an alchemy orb or so. But if you're playing as a Templar, Witch or Sign, you'll be able to choose this skill gem as a reward for killing Brutus on normal difficulty. If playing as a Shadow, you can obtain this skill gem by completing the Intruders in Black quest in Act 2 on normal difficulty. The last skill gem I'm going to mention is the famous or infamous skill gem Scorching Bond. Scorching Bond requires you to be level 24 to use, and this skill gem is incredibly strong just by itself when picking it up. Linking Scorching Bond to increase burning damage is pretty much all you need for this setup to do a lot of damage. This skill gem greatly benefits from anyone who levels and picks up either Elemental, Fire or Totem skill nodes. Scorching Bond can be obtained by the Witch, Templar and Marauder by completing the Lost in Love quest on normal difficulty in Act 3 and on Cruel difficulty by the Shadow and Duelist by completing the Enemy at the Gate in Act 1. It is not uncommon to see people simply buying a Scorching Bond totem to use alongside with their other abilities as they are leveling, simply because it is so efficient. This skill gem, when linked with increased burning damage, will remain efficient throughout early, mid and even the early part of late game. If speccing for it, Scorching Bond can also be used as a viable, cheap and powerful endgame build on its own. So these are the 6 abilities or skill gems I recommend for efficient leveling. Let's do a little recap here. For anyone who will be picking up any sort of elemental damage, spell damage, faster casting or increased AoE, Ice Nova, Flame Blast and Fire Trap are great options. For anyone who's picking up projectile or physical damage skill nodes and notables, Spectral Fro and Ethereal Knives are good options. Lastly, for anyone who will be picking up elemental, fire damage and totem skill nodes, Scorching Bond is a very good choice. And these are the 6 leveling skills I wanted to present to you. Please remember that there are of course lots of other good abilities that can be used for leveling, and these are just the ones I consider the best and my personal favorites. Before this video ends, let me just ask you, which leveling abilities are your personal favorites? Let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and bros, do even nerd.